Gavin. We're making thumbprint cookies, and we're in a baking show, so it might be tricky. And we only have 9 minutes.
9 minutes. The cookies bake for 6 minutes, so we're hurrying to get our cookies rolled in sugar and in the oven. Why are we making these cookies, Gavin?
For a little celebration.
A celebration? For who?
For me.
What? Why are we celebrating you?
Because I passed my math test. And
what?
And I only did like the practice test, and the 7 said it was going to be my real test.
Because you did so good?
No, I did all of them.
Wow. Go, Gavin. What else? You took another test and you got a good score on that as well. Actually, you came home with 3 tests that you did really well on.
Congratulations.
So we're going to continue making these balls of dough. They're about 1 inch in diameter. Is that 1 inch? Maybe 1.5 inches. We're coating them in sugar. It's a peanut butter dough, and it actually...
It tastes very good.
It tastes very good. Now, today we ran out of sweetened condensed milk, but we looked up a substitute on... Stop eating it. We looked up a substitute online that can work in a recipe, so this is our first time trying it. We'll give it a go. I'd make these 2 a little bit bigger. Do you see how big Mommy's making them?
Yeah.
Because we want the Hershey Kiss. We're going to end up putting them in the oven for 6 to 8 minutes until the bottoms are golden brown. Because of the color of the dough, it's really hard to see when they themselves are done. So you just kind of have to check the bottom. But because the Hershey Kiss is going to go in the middle when it comes out of the oven while they're still warm, you push that Hershey Kiss down. We want to make sure that they're large enough to be able to hold the Hershey Kiss. But the dough, like I was saying earlier, is a really simple dough. It's peanut butter.
Yes.
Yum. 3/4 a cup peanut butter. And
a ton of chocolate. And I do not like chocolate. Mama.
Except in this recipe, because it's so good.
But I do like chocolate with cookies.
Chocolate with cookies. But it's 3/4 cup peanut butter, 2 cups Bisquick, and a small can of sweetened condensed milk. And you mix them all together.
Wait, are we going to do 3 batches? Because it seems like we have enough.
We are not going to... You mean 3 trays?
Yeah.
We might have to. So we'll count how many the recipe makes, because that is a really good, important information, too. If you're making them for a group of people, you need to know how many you're going to get.
Yeah, and we have 5 people in our family. Or fish. What does it
He probably won't eat a cookie.
No, it's a her. Wait, is it a boy or a her?
It's a him. Okay. Pretty sure it's a him. That's okay. It's a him named Sparkles, because, you know...
And she has 2 colors, and his real name is a betta fish.
That's the kind of fish he is. He's a betta fish.
Is he?
Yeah. True story. Okay, so this looks like we're fitting... Mommy fit about 3 rows of 4. So how many, if I did 3 rows of 4, how many does that mean that I'll fit on my tray? 3 times 4. 5,
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Yeah. So that is a math problem for you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So cooking has lots of math involved. So considering you just did really well on your math test.
Yeah.
It's a breeze. It's a breeze.
Mm-hmm.
I love you. All right. Any other stories about this cookie? Do you remember the first time you had one?
No.
Me either. I just remember when I was younger that my mom would make them. I thought they were so good. And when I was older, I realized how easy they were to make. I was super excited. I was like, well, why don't I make these all the time? The answer to that is because my waist would just get larger and larger. And those are 2.
Bakers, you have 8 minutes.
8 minutes. We had 9 minutes. Wow, that was only a minute, folks. Only a minute passed by there. Okay. I'm going to try to squeeze one here. Move them up on the board. This board's actually a little bit bigger, so I think we're going to do fine with two pans with a dozen on each.
A dozen?
What is a dozen?
5,063,063,064 50s and
wrong. A dozen is 12. A baker's dozen, because a baker makes one extra to try,
and
so that's 13. I actually don't know if they make it to try it, but
I thought it was in case they made a mistake.
in case they made a mistake. There you go.
I don't know for...
I personally would eat it.
yes.
Of course, to taste it and make sure it tastes good. Don't judge me. Half the dough's eaten before we even start cooking them in the oven, right? Or baking them. Okay, so the bottom gets a little bit crumbly, but that's okay. Because it's kind of like playing with Play-Doh.
Yeah.
And so...
And I'm going to
Gives you
eat
something
all the
to do.
dough.
This is a great fine motor activity for your little ones, right?
When my brother's asleep.
What? Getting things done when brother's asleep is always a good thing. Almost necessary.
Hey, I was going to eat that.
Well, our substitute did have egg in it, so it's not recommended to eat raw egg. Dr. John, why can't we eat raw egg?
1 in 20,000 eggs carries salmonella.
1 in 20,000 eggs carries salmonella. Don't want that. What are the symptoms of salmonella, John?
Oh, bad belly upset.
Bad belly upset. Do we want a belly upset?
Yes.
No, I want my belly to feel good so I can eat more cookies. Okay. So it looks like we have 13 on this tray and 14 on that tray. So we're a little bit over a dozen, a little bit over a baker's dozen. All right, your hands are all crumbly and sugary. We're sweet. Making sweet treats. All right. Hello again. Our cookies baked in the oven for 6 to 8 minutes at 375 degrees. They just came out of the oven, so rather than letting them cool until they get hard, we want to put in these delicious Hershey Kisses to the top just to add a little pizzazz, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And you can see they're a little crumbly. But
They're a little bit crumbly and cracked. That's okay. That's what these cookies look like. And if you just push the Hershey Kiss in, you will let it cool, and voila! You have delicious cookies.
Okay.
And you can share them, or you can eat them all yourself. Although we wouldn't advise that, because remember, we have 13 on one tray and 14 on the other. So what does 13 plus 14 equal, Gavin?
I forget already.
27. We have 27 cookies. And depending on what size ball you make when you put them in the oven will depend on how many you get. But we made our cookies about 1 inch to 1.5 inches.
They look good already.
They look delicious. I think waiting for them to cool is going to be the hardest part of this recipe.
Ingredients.
Okay, Gavin's going to share the ingredients with us again. Well, Mommy will share the ingredients, you'll share the steps, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so the ingredients again were a 14-ounce can of sweetened condensed milk, 3/4 cup peanut butter, mix them together. You can add 2 cups of Bisquick, and then a teaspoon of vanilla. I think I forgot that the first time. After you mix the dough together, what do you do next?
Get some sugar on them, roll them up, then get some sugar on them.
Because everybody loves sugar. Except if you're on a diet. It happens. And then you put them in the oven for 6 to 8 minutes at 375. Pull them out of the oven. And then what?
Put the Hershey Kisses
Put the Hershey Kisses in them.
Then
Wait. Then you have to wait again. Then you have to wait again until they cool off.
And then
you get to
eat them.
I think that one's still hot. Thanks for watching.
My name is Gavin.
And I'm Mom. Till next time.
No, your real name.
Oh, my real name, Anne.